Welcome to Hometown Happenings. I'm Carol McCarthy here today with Deputy Sid Canham from the Becker County Sheriff's Department, and we are here standing in front of a new vehicle and that Sid is going to talk a little bit about, and also talk about the computers inside, some of the equipment, the new upgrades to the cars. Well, first of all, let's talk a little bit about this new design of vehicle. Not that you designed the vehicle, but the old Crown Vics are no longer in use, I understand.
Yes, they're gone. Ford quit making them last year, I believe, and this will be the 2013 Ford Taurus or Police Interceptor.
Okay. So this is the only one on the force right now, correct?
The only one that we have. There are a few around, but not very many at this point, and hopefully we'll be seeing some more in the next couple of years.
All right, and so this is the type that the Sheriff's Department's going to go with, or?
We purchased one of these, and then we purchased a couple of the Dodge Chargers, and it's my understanding that they're just kind of doing a test to see which ones they like better.
Okay.
And then we'll go from there down the line.
All right. Well, let's talk a little bit about the vehicle, the exterior. I noticed that you have a kind of a grill on the front of the vehicle. What's that all about?
It's push bumpers. We mainly have them for the deer in the area. It tends to save us quite a bit of money when we hit a deer. So that's something that we've been putting on all the vehicles. They've been on the Crown Victorias as also the Chargers and the Taurus. We've been putting them on for many years.
Okay. All right.
It's just extra protection in the front end.
So talk a little bit about some of the new things that are that you now have in your vehicles. Some of the new technology that you're working with these days.
They've added computers for us, which helps out a lot. It helps. They're starting to dispatch from them a little bit. Our calls for service are initiating on the computer, and we can see where we're going, so you don't have to ask the dispatcher multiple times what the addresses are, and it gives you a little bit more information up front as far as what kind of call you're going to, so that helps out. It also helps with record keeping and reports afterwards.
Okay.
Other than that, this car is all-wheel drive, which we haven't had before. But other than that, in the inside, the biggest thing that they've added is the computers.
Okay.
And then we're also going to a new radio system, which is PL25 compliant, I believe is what they call it. It's a digital radio.
Okay.
The federal government has done away with the old bandwidths for us, and so we're either had to go to a 800 megahertz or this other system.
All right. So we'll talk a little bit more about that as well. So the digital radio, I'm sure people with scanners right now are a little bit confounded.
Yeah, they're going to have to upgrade their scanners. And it's going to be different. It's a whole different bandwidth is my understanding. I'm not a real big radio person, but it's a little bit different as far as it's supposed to be a lot clearer, but the receptions or the transmission distance is supposed to be shorter, so we'll need more towers, but it should be more clear, and we should be able to talk anywhere in the state. Okay. They can tie the different frequencies together is the way I understand it.
Okay, and that's as far as all these technological upgrades, that's the idea, is to be able to connect to a wider area and get information quicker?
That's part of it. The federal government's mandating it. The radio frequencies are getting so heavily used that there's a lot of bleed over, so they're switching us to different frequencies and making us do some different things on the radios.
Okay. I'm here today with Deputy Sid Canham from the Becker County Sheriff's Department, and we're getting a tour today of the new vehicle, some of the new equipment in the vehicle, and we're going to take a break, and when we come back we'll go inside and see what Sid deals with on a day-to-day basis on his on his dashboard. It's not a typical dashboard. We'll be back with more Hometown Happenings after this. Welcome back to Hometown Happenings. I'm Carol McCarthy here today with Deputy Sid Canham from the Becker County Sheriff's Department. We're inside the new vehicle, and Sid, I'm going to have you tell us a little bit about, kind of go through everything that's on the dashboard. Talk about distracted driving, huh?
It's pretty much your typical dash. The only additional things that we have are the radar unit, the computer, and the radio system that we have in the car. Okay, so what all do you, what are all these instruments for? This will be to check speeds of vehicles that you're meeting or going away from, for speed enforcement. Computer is basically your reports, your your calls for service and all the other things that you use a computer for.
Okay.
And then the radio is what we communicate with, and where we're, where our dispatches are sending us and that information.
Okay, so with this new digital system, has anything changed on any of these components, or?
We're not hooked up to we'll be hooked up to the digital radio first part of this year.
Okay.
Some of the cars have the new radio, some of them do not.
Okay.
And my understanding, they're supposed to be putting them in all the cars here shortly.
Okay.
Other than that, everything is basically the same, other than the addition of a computer in the car now.
Okay, all right. So
we've had radars for years. We've had the radios in there forever, and,
okay.
And the computers have been around for quite a while. They're new to us.
All right. So on your laptop, it's kind of like an office in your vehicle, I understand. So you are able to get reports here and write reports on this, or?
Everything I can do in the office, I can do here.
Okay.
It's just a little bit more compact, and I don't have the space.
Okay.
But everything I do in the office, I can do from my car.
All right. So describe a little bit. So this is your radar right up here?
This is one of the radar antennas. There's one in the rear.
Okay.
This is the controlling, or the control unit of the radar. It's basically the brains to it. Basically all it's doing is checking speeds.
Okay.
And it'll give you the target speed, and it'll give you the patrol speed, and then you got to determine which vehicle is speeding.
So the radars today, are you able, they used to be you just had to shoot straight at a vehicle coming towards you, but now do you have the capabilities of getting traffic coming ahead of you and behind you?
Depending upon which unit they have and which car, but this unit is able to track people coming and going from the front and from the rear, and then also stationary and moving.
Okay.
So we're basically good for any angle there is on the car right now.
Okay, so look out. But so now, I know that vehicles are sometimes equipped with cameras, video cameras. This vehicle, I don't see a camera in here.
My primary responsibility is civil process, so I'm not considered a patrol vehicle for the most part, though I do take calls in that. Most of I think all of our patrol vehicles at this time still have cameras, and they're slowly starting to upgrade them to more of a digital versus the VHS. All
right. So ultimately, then the footage would be filmed or transferred to your computer, the capability, or how does that work?
The way it is right now, you pull out the VHS tape and you bring it in, and, and then we copy it in the office from there, and then send it to where it needs to be sent.
Okay, because I'm just wondering where they get all those cops videos from, so.
The trunk of the car.
Okay, all right, all right. I'm talking to Deputy Sid Canham from the Becker County Sheriff's Department. New vehicle in the fleet here, and anything else change? Do you have more room inside this new vehicle, or how does it differ from the old vehicles?
I would say it's comparable to the Crown Victoria. It's a V6. It's no longer a V8, which is different, and it's all-wheel drive versus the rear-wheel drive, so that's a little bit different there also. Otherwise, it's pretty comparable. The trunk space is about the same.
Okay.
Interior space is supposed to be about the same.
A wider back seat?
A little bit more room in the back seat. And, there's some different things, but they're pretty minor.
All right.
But it's pretty comparable to the old Crown Victoria, other than it's all-wheel drive and a V6.
All right. Well, Officer Deputy Sid Canham from the Becker County Sheriff's Department, my guest is today on Hometown Happenings. We're given the wind up here, so I want to thank you for giving us a tour of your new vehicle and giving us kind of an introspective look here at the Sheriff's Department from the automobile interior. And for Hometown Happenings, I'm Carol McCarthy.